Over the past 18 months, road cycling has absolutely boomed across the world, not least here in the UK, where it seems people are out riding their bikes at the weekend more than ever. And here at Cyclist, we absolutely love seeing newbies out on their box fresh frames and in their sparkly new Lycra. We're also acutely aware that it can be quite daunting getting into the world of road cycling. Starting off with all the best intentions, that gear, lingo, nutrition, training can quickly mount up and be quite confusing, leaving you to think, am I really cut out to be a road cyclist? Well, here's the secret. Yes you are. And in today's video, we're even going to give you some of our top tips for things we wish we'd known when we'd started road cycling to make your introduction to this sport that little bit easier. From the time I wore a short sleeve jersey through a hailstorm to that sportif I rode in blazing sunshine in a fleeced winter jacket, you'll soon realise that overdressing and underdressing is part and parcel of being a new cyclist. Ultimately, dressing appropriately for your bike ride is a fine art. It's something that comes with experience, but you'll soon realise that the cyclists operating best are those that are like ogres and onions. What do I mean by that? No, they haven't got short tempers or work really well in a beef ragout. They have layers. Stuff like arm warmers, gilets, rain jackets. Stuff that can be stowed and packed in rear pockets and worn and taken off dependent on the weather you're riding in. See that? The confidence of a man who's been walking around in SBD pedals for many years. But it hasn't always been that way, oh no. If you're new to the world of road cycling, the chances are you're going to want to invest and upgrade to a set of clipless SPD pedals after not very long. And they are worth it. But be warned, they can and will be perilous. They're not designed to be walked on, so will be slippery on many surfaces. Many of us have been reduced to Bambi on ice at the cafe stop, myself included. So limit the amount of time spent walking around on your cleats. This will also help make them last longer. And before going anywhere on your new SPD clipless pedals, make sure you practice clipping in and out at home. Nobody wants to be setting off for a ride, get into that first set of traffic lights, forgetting to unclip, falling on your side, and then having a bus worth of school kids laughing at you. I'm still scarred by the experience today. Sorry, what's your threshold? I think you'll find this is a 32k an hour zone 3 chain gang. Not sure you can keep up. Is that 105 on your bike? Is that a fourth cat tat, lols? Fortunately, if you're new to the sport of cycling, you'll soon realise it can be an elitist, snobby sport at times, and you will cross paths on occasion with a wally or two who'll happily pass judgment at stuff like what you're wearing, what you're riding, and sometimes even what you're saying. Even to this day, we have to deal with those fools out on our travel. But if you want our advice, we say ignore them. Don't let them discourage you. And after all, these people are normally the butt of a joke amongst their more experienced cycling friends and are therefore just taking it out on you as a newcomer. Thankfully, these people are also largely in the minority. And once you get to know cycling on the whole, you'll see that it's an inclusive and accepting sport once you get to know it. So if you want our advice, we say block out the haters and stick with them, as it's certainly worth it if you do. Usually, we're not ones to tell you what you can and can't wear while you're out on the bike, because ultimately, we don't care. If you want to wear some tight Lycra, wear tight Lycra. If you want to wear a pair of aubergine cord slacks, that's your prerogative. But one thing we'll not let you get away with, not once, not ever, is wearing underwear underneath a set of bib shorts. Now this is one we wish we'd known from the start. The bib short, with its padded chamois, is designed to sit directly against the skin for some very good reasons. Reason number one being that if I was to wear a set of seamed underwear in between my bib short and my skin, it's going to cause rubbing when out on the bike. That rubbing will develop into chafing, and that chafing could eventually become a bad set of saddle sores. Reason number two is hygiene. The padded chamois is actually designed to absorb sweat and moderate bacteria down there. If I've got a set of underwear in between my bib short and my skin, it'll prevent it from doing its job properly and could lead to a worst case scenario, which is a urinary tract infection, or a UTI as it's known by its mates. So if you're going to go out on the bike in a set of bib shorts, the best advice we've got for you is to ditch the underwear. It was on my first ever road bike ride that I was forced off and had to walk up a hill. And this is the hill, the dastardly Tinker Pot Lane. I remember at the time feeling very embarrassed, in fact. My two mates dancing off into the distance as I trudged behind on foot. But I shouldn't have felt embarrassed, no, because every cyclist ever, including the greatest of all time, Eddie Merckx, has been forced into walking up a hill at some point or another. And when you're finally a strong enough cyclist to come back to that hill and get up it in one go, it will feel even sweeter.
On that note, you will also get dropped at some point, most likely a lot at first, by seemingly everyone and anyone. Just like you should never assume you're the smartest in the room, never assume you're the strongest rider either. There'll always be someone there able to sprint faster, push harder and climb better. But like walking up a hill, this is secretly a good thing, as riding with those better than you will ultimately make you a more accomplished rider in the long run.
True story, 2011 Paris-Roubaix winner Johan van Someren once told me in a lift that if you fail to prepare, you will prepare to fail. Granted, that was in regards to the hotel buffet, but it rings true for cycling as well. Things go wrong when you're riding your bike all the time. You'll crash, you'll double puncture, you'll snap cables, you'll bend rear mechs. So if you're new to cycling, you want to make sure you're prepared for the inevitable as much as possible. For example, before you start cycling, I suggest you learn how to change an inner tube. Also, make sure you always take 2 spare tubes out on your rides as well. Also, you want to keep on top of keeping your bike clean, as a clean bike is a longer lasting bike. And when the proverbial really hits the fan, make sure you're good friends with the local bike shop, as they'll be the people you need most. And our final point, and this is probably the most important of all, is make sure you're enjoying your cycling. The fresh air, the lovely views, the coffee and the cake. If you're not enjoying it, then, well, what's the point? Maybe you should take up another hobby like chess or walking. How boring is that? So, if you're new to the world of road cycling and you found this video to be a warm hug of helpfulness, make sure you give it a like. And if, like me, you're an old hat in the world of road cycling and have your own wisdom to impart, make sure you leave that in the comments below. And regardless of who you are, make sure you subscribe to the Cyclist YouTube channel for more content, including tech tutorials, how-tos, and classic climbs.